All right. What does this button do? Oh, yeah.
It makes the sound.
Don't. The very first thing.
Hello and
It's
welcome
gonna be the
to
intro to
another
this
Woodshop
episode.
podcast.
It's going to be
With
dancing.
Mike of Coffee Custom Builds, Daniel Dunlap of Daniel Dunlap Woodworks, and Peter Country's Workshop. You can find us all, as well as the podcast,
nothing
on
wrong with
Instagram and YouTube.
Fine. Welcome to episode 102 of another Woodshop podcast, where we make tiny audio NFTs for your ears.
Ooh. And we call it a podcast.
Yeah, we call it a podcast. Yeah.
In PTs? Dan,
yeah.
your hand is raised on a podcast. Go
Dan,
ahead.
so an NFT is
He knew what I was going to ask.
Fungible. I don't know what the T stands for, though.
it's something about fudge and a token.
Non-fungible token. That's right. Non-fungible token. Tigers.
What's fungible mean?
I'll tell you when you're older.
Okay.
Yeah, it's nothing. We can actually discuss it on here by law.
Yeah.
Big thanks to our patrons. You guys are the best. We got a bunch of patrons in the last couple weeks. None this week, but the last few weeks we've gotten a bunch of new patrons. So big thanks to you guys. We
If
really
you put them
appreciate it
all
very
in a pot and, the pot was like the
Averages
last
out.
couple weeks,
I mean,
we got a
it's
bunch.
pretty impressive. It's impressive. So big thanks to you guys for sponsoring and promoting and financially backing the show. So you're a big part of the show.
Back that
We really
show up.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
Back that show up.
Show
The
title.
one of the big parts of our show, it's kind of a cornerstone for the show. It's called this.
Go, Black Betty, Ram Lamb.
That's
Not what it's called. That's just the jingle.
You're right. Actually, the segment is reviews. The jingle is.
Go, Black Betty, Ram Lamb.
So I
I
may have
see.
gotten that a little. See what I did there. Anyways, we got some new reviews. We had a couple, but we didn't do them last week because of the big show. We had a big show last week, so
Did we?
I don't know. You'd have to look at the numbers to find out.
I'll go
And
read
I'm
it.
not-
Humongous.
It was huge.
Last
one of
week
the
was
greatest-
101.
And
I think the
And
big
a
show was
bonus show.
100.
100 was a big show. Oh yeah, you're right. I don't know. Last week was good, right? Do we have Paul? last week?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah, we had
Wait.
Paul.
no. This is 102. We had
so
Paul
last
for
week was
100.
Paul. No,
No.
Really?
What?
no.
How's
last
this
week
102
was-
then?
Last week was making fun.
Then how's this
101, 100 was the episode where we did the giveaway.
Oh, right.
We
Making
announced
fun
them on
was
101.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
So anyway,
Wow.
the reviews.
Yikes.
Big thanks to
Can we
John-
start over?
Nope. Big thanks
Is
to
it-
John Hanrahan. He has this to say. Hanrahan. I mean, I believe that's your name, but that's Hanrahan. That's a lot of hand. Quite the hand job. Anyway, so for years, my dog struggled with fertility issues, but thanks, AWP, it's puppies galore. So you're welcome,
Oh.
John. Everyone loves puppies. Everyone.
It is raining male pups.
Speaking of pups, I think my pup is dreaming. He's over there making sounds.
If you could have him stop, that'd be great.
Yeah.
He's ruining the podcast.
Can you hear it?
Thanks
Yeah.
to SPMRKS. Not sure what that means. I think it's Sean Marks, though. I bet it's Sean Marks.
Sean
That's- I'm doing
pen
s-
makers.
Sean, no, it's not Sean Penmakers. I think it's I think it's Sean Marks from
Made with
little
Marks.
town.
Made with Marks.
a little town called Arizona. AWP is simply the best. One night I left the AWP pod playing in my truck. Imagine my delight when I woke up that morning to find my truck had driven to the liquor store, picked up a handle of whiskey, some white. Oh no. I didn't pre-read this.
You didn't
so-
pre-read
No.
Was it nose candy?
It was some white powder substance in a small baggie and 2 strippers. I'm sorry. I should have read this before. I
Like
started.
2
I'm
gallons
pretty
of
deep-
stripper? Oh, he must
Paint
be doing a
stripper.
big
It's paint
restoration
stripper.
job.
Yeah,
and he
it's
has
a
to stay
big-
up
it's
all
a-
night to do it.
It's a big DIY job. The paint strippers were dudes. I
I love how you're trying to make it better and it's just making it worse.
It's worse.
The strippers were dudes, so that was awkward. But the free whiskey was cool. The shop day was the most energetic shop day ever, filled with some really high highs and really low lows. Thanks, AWP. I think
You're welcome.
I think you're welcome.
I'm Ron Burgundy.
That is basically our like catchphrase.
I think this is a good
You're
time to
welcome.
use this.
Maybe.
Very nice. Very nice.
I don't know. Maybe it's on brand. It fits. That's a hard stop to the show. So,
right.
Big thanks to who I assume is Sean
good.
Marks, but could just very well be Stephen, Philip, Michael, Robert,
Seagal.
Ken Seagal.
I think I voted for him in the last election.
Some
yeah,
relation.
and he was running. He had a pretty good chance. I just smashed my hat into my mic because it's my first day. So that happened. Anyway, I think that's it, right? We're kind of done with the podcast. We don't do anything else, right? There's nothing big that I can think of.
That's it.
Oh, wait. Yes, there
Asians
is.
again? I don't know.
Yeah. Wait a minute. We want to talk about this.
What's on my bench?
The classic Dunlap song.
I want to go last today for a reason.
Okay, that sounds good. Do you want me to go first?
Yeah, please.
I don't care who goes first. I'm just
I don't
going
trust
last.
this. Like
Then it's you, Dan. You don't care. No. So this week on my bench, we delivered a dining table on Monday. It was this, I mean, quite frankly, it was the most beautiful dining table that I've had come out of my shop. It was really pretty. It was really stunning. So that was awesome. The customer was fantastic. The guy has incredible interior design skills. It looked so good in his dining room area. It was just amazing. So, what's up?
The only thing that would have made that table better would have been hairpin legs.
I see that.
For sure.
I see.
I see. No, it was real nice. I really love that
I
table.
thought he was gonna say bow ties.
But yeah, it had
Of course.
it had 3 bow ties. Anyway, got
Not
that
official
in
bow
there.
ties. Anyway.
No, they were. Yes, you're right. They didn't get DD bow ties inserted in them, but they're still good enough.
Man, you gotta start selling them like how dominoes are sold in just like a plastic container.
A sustainer of bow ties for $800.
Yes.
Ooh, I like this. All right, writing it down.
You can get them from Thanos. Thanos will sell you just sustainers. They have the sustainer store on Instagram. You should work a deal out with them to sell bow ties in a sustainer. That'd be fun. I bet.
Can I get one of those mini
spend the money.
sustainers that
Sam had?
That Sam had, yeah.
Yeah, those are cool. I think I got a couple of those. I could send you one, but they'd have to be some really tiny sustainers or bow ties. Like it's pretty small.
You know.
Or one
Whatever.
single.
If anyone
bow
can
tie.
make it small, it's Dunlap. I don't know what that means. I got started. We got this.
Oh wait, this is where I say, oh, I see.
Oh, I see.
I see.
No, it's just I see, and then you shaking your head in disapproval. No, got these audio boxes we're working on. Me and the customer came to final agreement on that, so the ball is run on that. It's been milling a ton of English walnut this week, getting that stuff going. I have a maker fair that I agreed to be a part of. It's over at Urban Wood Rescue's yard in Sacramento. That's March 13th. What's up, Dan?
If English walnut could talk, would it have that really annoying accent?
Hello,
Yeah, like that.
I'm Walnut.
Well, there goes
Bruv.
our few listeners in the UK.
Yeah. Manchester.
Sorry.
No, so yeah, we
Hello, Governor.
hello. Throw another shrimp on the. Well, that's not how it works. I'm gonna get Ash in here. No, so I got this Maker Fair. Full transparency, the Maker Fair commitment is really throwing a wrench in my productivity in the shop. I'm trying to take like 80 items to this thing, and I've got like 60 done today. So I've been like flying through it this week, getting stuff done, making like cutting boards and bottle openers and wine caddies. And I made these Moncala boards. I made like 10 of those, and I'm making anyway, I'm just flying through these things, making them for that. So I don't know how that's going to even go, but Sean, my guy Sean from the shop, he is his account is called Pin Makers. He's actually rebranding his account finally, because I mean, honestly, he doesn't just do turning. He's a really good furniture maker, but he's changing his account name. But he's going to be sitting in the booth with me selling a bunch of his pins and some cutting boards, some ingrain boards, stuff like that. So Sean will be in there. That'll be fun little Sunday.
Those little craft fairs can be pretty profitable.
Yeah,
they can be. I don't know if they always are.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I don't know how it's good. I literally have no baseline. I had 2 of these lined up before COVID hit, and then COVID hit. So those went away. So we'll see what happens with this.
Remember the days of COVID?
Man, good times. So that the Maker Faire, I'm excited. I think it could go really well, or it could just be really frustrating. And I'm going to be running. If it goes really bad, I'm going to be running quite the sale on Etsy. So
Hey,
we'll see
is
what
it
happens
next week our 2-year anniversary?
Yes, it is.
It
It is our
Indeed
2-year anniversary next week.
Yep.
Actually,
it's episode
no,
103,
actually,
so we can't really.
it's actually no. It's actually tomorrow.
Is it tomorrow?
Yeah, tomorrow is our 2-year anniversary. So, we did it, guys.
We did it.
We did it.
Yep.
We should have done it on the 10th, so it could be
many
Mario
people.
Day.
Today is the 10th, correct? Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Mario.
I see.
Get it?
It's a me. I lost a job this week, which is always humbling.
You're fine.
Spent a lot of time on that project, pricing it up, and I didn't assume it was my job, but I had jumped through some hoops for the customer for a previous job I had done for them. So I had high expectations, and I lost it. So it is, it's always humbling when that happens. But you know, that's part of the gig. You can't get all the jobs. And if you are getting all the jobs you bid, you're doing something wrong. So
you're not pricing high enough.
Yeah. If you're getting every job you price out, you're not doing it right. So anyway, I just sent out a quote for a big door job today. It's these 4 carriage doors. I'll probably hear about that tomorrow. Really hoping to get that job, just mostly because I want the experience under my belt. It's going to be a really fun project.
You're going to hate doors. Just
telling
you now.
I think I'm going to love doors. I really, I think they're right up my alley. I'm making the jam. I'm making the jam and the trim and the doors. They're paint grade. I'm not finishing them. They're going to be paint grade. So,
nice.
But they're going to be shaker style, 3 panels with each door will have 6 panes of glass in them in panels. So,
triple pane soundproof glass by chance?
Dual pane tempered safety glass, 1/2 inch thick.
That was
they're only
Ace Ventura reference.
Oh, I
single pane sugar made stunt glass. It's just gonna instantly crack.
Yeah, you just throw
sugar glass,
sugar water. No, so I really hope I get that job. Honestly, I really hope I get it. It'd be a lot of fun. So we'll see. But yeah, I'm working on some other stuff in the background. I had kind of mentioned that I'm working on this project for a big furniture retailer. Progress is positive there. Oh, this week I put in all my papers for my articles of incorporation. So Coffee Custom Builds is now going to be an S Corp. So it'll be Coffee Custom Builds Incorporated. I'll still keep my DBA. That will be how I filter through all my content monies. All the monies from content will ran through the Coffee Custom Builds DBA. But actually the DBA will be moving from, it's complicated, but basically the DBA won't be under CPA. Yeah, the DBA won't be under Mike Coffee. It'll be under Coffee Custom Builds Incorporated. There'll be a DBA that we'll be renaming a little bit. All that'll move on anyway. It's going to be just to keep everything out of my hands. So
gotcha.
Anyway, that's going to be good. I got some new insurance renewal, just a bunch of business stuff this week. It's been a really busy week for business stuff. So yeah, that's where we're at with things. Anyway, that was my week. Peter?
Sure, I'll go next since Dan has to go last. The heck did I do this week? Also, I feel like, I don't know why this week was super long. I feel like we recorded 2 weeks ago again, but no, it's been just a week. So this week I've been trying to knock out that end grain cutting board, that big butcher block one. So this thing's a monster. It's 13 inches by 24. It actually ended up being 25 inches by 3 inches thick. And it's going to have no feet, nothing. It's just going to be flat on both sides. They want to use it.
It's just going to lay there.
They literally...
Just like Lieutenant Dan.
Yeah.
No feet.
Sit there, no legs. You got a cutting board, Lieutenant Dan.
I see.
I see.
Good evening,
Mike.
I can't say anything like that now. It's so annoying. I need to turn it off on this thing.
Just avoid words that start with an S.
Okay.
Well,
I will
luck with that.
For yes.
Yes. For yes. So what's funny is this whole job started with this person texting me a TikTok and being like, I want this. And it was somebody like re-oiling up a board.
Is his name Nick? Does he have a company that does landscaping or
it's not
any
the,
sort of
it's
any
not the
trench work.
Yeah. Big Nick and his company.
Big Nick.
Anyways, so that's getting done. Somebody made the joke in a pre-show that I probably miss my dad who would do all the sanding for me. Like, yes, right now I miss him a lot. I miss my mom too, though.
I bet you miss your dad.
That's a weird thing to get picked on for. But I do miss my parents because my parents officially this last Sunday flew to the motherland. So they're back in Poland now with my family. They're safe. Poland's safe. And a lot of people are actually reaching out to me in regards to what's happening overseas.
They don't have to worry about.
They're thinking it's the same state or country or something.
There's some people are like, how's your family in Poland? Like, they're fine. Poland's
They don't
fine.
have to worry about the boot scooting Putin dance.
Do you go? Do you go like this? Do you go, oh no, you think they're the same place? And then you pat them on the head.
Yeah, that's semi-offensive. But yeah, I found out last week that if I can bring this up a little bit, but I found out last week that our family that was in the Kyiv region actually got out. My brother had helped them get into Poland, and then the rest of this is quite distant family, but still family. They're in the southern parts of Ukraine, which has not been under any attack yet or anything like that. So right now everyone's safe, and let's keep it that way. Okay.
Good.
Otherwise, you're gonna be Putin with Pete. Don't you forget it. So anyways, that's enough of that. I was hoping to be in my office and not in the basement. For those of you listening, I have no idea what I'm talking about. I'm recording in my 3D print shop, and my office was being used as a bedroom for the last 3 months, and now it is vacant, and I'm still yet to move up there. So I gotta get all my stuff moved up.
You take your time.
Yeah, no, I need to get out of here. It's cold down here.
But
I miss
cool.
my
The
standing desk,
cool.
Man. Yeah,
yeah.
Cool stuff in a little casting couch or something, like something just really jazz up the background in my room. Be fine.
Poor Emma.
Big fan of leather. What else am I working on? Oh yeah, so
I don't know.
I am looking on my list. Yeah. So
wait, you guys make lists?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
The client dropped off all the CNC'd parts that I have to assemble, and dang it, Siri. So I mentioned all the ice climbing tools. So I finally unboxed everything and I started assembling it, and I'm hoping to start getting them rounded over, sanded, and actually start throwing them in a laser, because basically they're like, we don't need them all at once, but if you can give us like a couple pairs every week, because they just want to send them out. So I'm probably going to try to do that, batch out a bunch and then give them a few every week. I also was talking with Shelby at Merca, and they were just talking about like, hey, what's the next project you're working on, like that you might need help on? I'm like, honestly, like I'm hand sanding these. Like, what do you guys think? So they're sending over some sponges that I'm going to try out, which I'm pretty excited for. Because sanding that with sponge-worthy, yeah, because from one of their warehouse guys, Bob, is going to send that over. There it is. Thank you. Aside from that, I'm doing a little Etsy class in the coming weeks or within the next month. So you guys
before your birthday,
before my birthday, which is the 24th of May, everyone. But
I didn't realize our birthdays were so close to each other.
I know, same year. Small world. But anyway, next time somebody has a birthday, if they say like, oh, September 5th, you'd be like, no way, small world, May 24th, and just throw out yours.
I also have a birthday.
Yeah. Just to mess with them, because you'll see them light up and then just instantly deflate. It's so rewarding.
Do you also have a belly button?
It's your outer end. Can we compare? All right.
I see.
Tummy sticks. But anyways, all of us probably have a ton of people reach out to us every single week about Etsy and our business and how do you ship stuff, what boxes do you use, all this stuff. And not that I'm getting tired of answering that, but like I can't give everyone a good answer because I'm just giving them short answers because there's so many inquiries, and I would love to have a place to actually send them. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a Zoom call with a bunch of people. I already a bunch of people reached out to me already. Free. Gonna be
You're
free.
An idiot.
I know. Now, hang on. I'm just gonna do this Zoom. It's gonna be a bunch of people that we already know. Some people that already
First one's free.
First one's free. And I'm going to record the whole thing. We're going to record the Zoom. I'm going to throw it up on my website or on my YouTube. YouTube.
Am I invited? Peter.
Yeah, of course.
Are you going to mute me?
Of course. Everyone's going to be muted for the first part. And I'm going to do like a full presentation, like a breakdown. Here's what you should be doing. Here's what is working for me. It might not work for you, whatever, like basically the whole spiel, and try to get people motivated to get it started. What I'm getting out of it is I'm getting a video. I'm getting a resource that I can send people to, be like, hey, if you have more questions, just go watch this video. We did a whole Zoom, asked all the questions.
Use the chapters feature.
Yeah. Oh, very good idea. Thank you.
I know.
So, no, calm down. Okay, I'm taking it back. It was an idea. It was average.
Relax, bro.
Yeah. So
I have an idea.
We're gonna do that. Plus, I tried something different, and I'm not like building a mailing list yet, but I just said everyone that wants to be included in this, shoot me an email. A, it's easier to track because we get so many messages, but like,
never mind.
B, I just have an email set aside now. What's up, Dan?
I'm not giving you any of my personal data.
Yeah,
it's awppodcast@gmail.com.
So if anyone is interested, Petrie's Workshop.
Why you gotta be attacking me all the time?
Shoot me an email and say you want to do the Etsy class, and I'll send out an invite when we do it. It's gonna be late March, early April for that. So I'm actually pretty excited for that, just to get some more content. And
dude, I'm not trying to interrupt you, but I just remember when you made that email, Dan. That memory is a positive, happy memory in my life. It's the same face you made when we were listening, when Paul started playing the audio last week.
Are you talking about the AWP podcast?
AWP podcast at gmail.com.
Which, by the way,
because Pete was like, you know, the P in AWP stands for podcast. And Dan was like,
which, by the way, I need to re-up that. And I'm like on the fence. Should I keep that?
No, drop that thing.
Drop that thing. No, I'm gonna keep it for a good time.
No, drop it. No, drop it.
It's worth the $20.
Sorry, Pete.
Pete. Go on.
No, that was it for that part.
Your class. That's cool. You're doing the class, dude. That's really cool.
Yeah,
I'm
definitely not charged.
But
I'm definitely going to be there and cause a disturbance.
Please do.
It'd be great.
I need input from other people that are doing this wrong, so we have examples.
Point, counterpoint.
God, everybody was drinking too.
I see.
And just did a spit take.
I can't say it now because my stupid thing goes off. I want to say it so bad. That might be the show title.
Rewatch.
No, it's my laptop.
All right. Cover your laptop. So the last thing was I started talking to a company a little more that I was talking to at WorkbenchCon, and basically getting some more information. And it was one of those situations where I started the conversation, or we kind of started the conversation at WorkbenchCon. And as much as I want to work with the brand, I don't think it's a good fit for me right now, but I really want to. But it's something that would be kind of throw my groove off in the shop. But the conversation went really well. And basically it's like a long-term open offer. And I'm like, that's awesome. It's a very straightforward talk. The person I talked to was, I'm sorry I'm being so vague about it, but it was a really good conversation. It was really good to like,
you have to be sometimes.
I'm like talking to brands, and it's cool to like just see that they're like willing. It humanizes the whole experience, because sometimes through Instagram, it's just, you just don't get that. Or sometimes they'll expect you to pay when you think you're getting something for free. Right, Dan?
Yeah.
You can talk about that experience. But anyway, so that's exciting. There's like this whole year, like since WorkbenchCon, a lot of very positive things have been happening. A lot of motivation is happening. And I'm talking to people and brands that I never considered myself worthy to talk to at my level, if that makes sense. Like, I didn't think I'm cool enough or big enough to talk to these people and these brands, and now I kind of talk to some of them regularly, and it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool to see like, wow, all this work is like paying off. I'm kind of one of the boys, one of the girls, whatever. So that's been my week. Pretty busy here, but Dan, I want to hear about your week, since you've been leading us on.
I think am I frozen?
You are frozen.
Yeah,
your
you're
video's
frozen.
Yeah.
Oh, my mic, but my okay. I'm all confused now. I'm just staring at myself.
Have you tried turning your audio off and on again, or video?
Your video? Don't turn your audio off.
Let me try this. We're doing it live. Here we go, and I'm back.
You moved the things around.
All right. Did I move sync?
Yeah.
What?
It's fine. You're on top of my
anyway.
He was for me the whole time.
How's my week? You guys will never guess what my week has been like. I feel like a broken record, But it's what I do now. It's my life. It's my truth. It's my journey. I'm making a whole lot of bow ties. But on top of that, I did get a few more projects on the docket. I don't know if I talked about this last week or not. Heck, I can't even remember last week. I thought last week was episode 100. But I finally got in touch with one of my clients that I've been working with. I've been sitting on some of their materials for a while, and I'm going to start making a couch for behind their, not a couch. I'm going to start making a table for behind their couch out of live edge monkey pod. And I'm going to be making some end tables that go along with that have a little monkey pod accents. So that should be really cool. I'm really looking forward to that. But before I get to moving on that, I really need to get the big door out of my shop. If you've been following along on IG, you know that I'm still waiting on hinges. Yep, still waiting on hinges. I talked about that in the pre-show.
Yeah.
Those clients, so I think I mentioned
why aren't
this.
you just acquiring them? I don't understand.
Let me tell you why. These clients are very particular about the hardware, okay? First of all.
I would be particularly charging them rent for taking up 90% of your shop.
I kind of should be.
Yes.
Yep.
But, I offered to buy the hinges and they're not okay with Menards hinges, so whatever.
I wonder.
They're made of old baloney. That's not gonna work.
But they initially brought me like 3-inch hinges, and those are just not. I mean, this door is like 400 or 500 pounds.
Dude, have you acquired the lock set yet?
Yeah, I got all the lock set and everything like put in.
How much? Can you mind me asking? Do you know how much that lock set was?
I can tell you what the brand name is. I didn't look it up.
No, you didn't look it. So, not to interrupt your thing, but I'm doing pricing for these carriage doors, and they needed some special. They don't. I mean, the actual lock set stuff is pretty standard, but the customer wanted a specific look for a carriage door, so it looks like Victorian almost. How much would you guess an expensive lock set is? I had no idea. I've never dealt with any of this stuff, so I was like,
I'm willing to bet they were a couple $100.
No. Let's say 500.
No.
Oh, no, really?
$1,500 for each set.
Whoa!
For the doors.
That's more than I said.
Yes, I was telling the customer, I was like, if you told me they were $5 or $500, I wouldn't be surprised. And then I got the price, and I was like, they're $1,500. He's like, whoa. What?
Really?
Yes, $1,500. I couldn't even believe it.
But
then the hinges, the 5 and whatever size hinges, those weren't that expensive. They were like $100 each. I thought that was pretty. I mean, those are holding all the weight. I would think those would be even more expensive. Like that's where all the structural integrity is. Anyway, sorry, Dan. It's just a whole new experience for me. I was kind of like thrown off by this whole thing. I was like, oh man, this hardware.
I'm kind of holed up waiting for the hinges because I don't want to build the jam until I have the hinges installed and everything, and I make sure that the gaps are perfect. Because I don't know exactly how thick the hinges are going to be. I don't even know what these hinges are going to look like. I know they have to be at least 6 inches by 2 inches or whatever they are.
You should be able to do the jam though, right? I mean, you shouldn't have much. You should just be able to leave like a 16th or something, and because you're gonna have the stops, right? I don't know. I've never done it.
This wood is so expensive. I don't want to take any chances. I'm just not.
Yeah, I gotcha. That makes sense.
I don't want to.
Yeah, there's no. You're 100% right. That's the way to do it for sure. You're 100% right.
I'm ready to start putting finish on the door, but
Putin. Start putting finish on.
I don't want to do it until I got the hinges mortised out. So that's where I'm at with that. I have been working on another slab over at Nick Brim's shop. He's been kind enough to let me keep another live edge slab over at his shop. I've been putting some Total Boat Fathom in it. It's got a lot of bug holes in it. It's hackberry, and it's got a ton of bug holes in it. And I'm on my second round of pouring Total Boat Fathom in it because the first round I put a whole gallon in it and it soaked it up like a sponge because it basically is.
Yeah, and you got to make sure you wipe those bug holes, otherwise they get real itchy.
I see.
Where's the button? I need to have.
So cut that out.
As a matter of fact, speaking of itchy bug holes,
Itchy bug holes. Yeah.
Nick sent me a picture of a bug trying to escape through the fathom. So there's still bugs in there apparently.
I'm talking about the one of his face.
Nope. Oh no. Something else. I wasn't even gonna bring that up. I think that's pretty much it for my week. It's been real slow going. Oh, nope. One more thing. I'm working on a little secret collab with Trevor over at Madeira Design. He's asked me to work with him on something, so I got that going on. I got a tiny little sneak peek on my IG that I just posted before the pre-show.
If it's another podcast, I am suing you so hard.
I'm not saying.
You better read your partnership contract.
I'm kind of a hot commodity, guys.
You're lukewarm at best, buddy.
I want my pay to increase. There we go. Anyway,
we all do, Dan.
Another thing I wanted to talk about is, man, I don't know how to put this. Being supportive in the community.
Oh, here we
go. You know what I mean? I got a pretty crappy message last night that's really been bothering me, right? And it came from another local maker, another local maker that I used to work closely with. I think he thought that he was responding to somebody else's story, but he was actually responding to mine. And, it was just a really, really crappy message. And you could tell by reading it. I shared it with Mike and Pete.
100% dude or gal thought they were responding to someone else while talking trash about Dan. 100%. Yeah. There's no other way to interpret it.
No other way.
It was a total dirtbag move.
Yeah.
It really was. And it really... It really bugged me because I worked with this person. I worked with this person. I looked up to him. I learned a lot from them, and it was just kind of a punch in the gut. Like, man, how can you hold so much animosity?
It sucks because Aaron makes such good food. I just can't believe it.
It was not Aaron. It was not Aaron. Anyways,
Nick has the best Bush Light. I can't believe he'd say it.
I've said this a couple times, a rising tide raises all ships. And I really believe that. And, just be kind to one another and help each other out. And
sometimes it's a tsunami.
If you're feeling like you have a lot of animosity towards somebody, just unfollow them. Just remove the toxicity. It's not.
And don't be fake.
Yeah. Don't be fake either. Like as soon as I called this person out, they tried to backpedal and like play it off.
Oh, did they?
Well,
yeah.
They responded as if they didn't realize they sent the first message. Like, completely glancing over it.
Anyway, that's all I wanted to say. I just wanted to rant a little bit about that. Do we have any questions?
I want to tell you a little story that happened today.
Oh yeah, bring it on.
So I was trying to tell in the pre-show and we got sidetracked. I don't know, some Putin joke, but
Shocker.
Our son got into this school we've been trying to get him into, and he got into this school. So I went down to the school and I handed him the paperwork, and then I had to get some other paperwork. And well, I walk in, they're like, "What are you doing here?" Because there's some guy walking into a school. I was like, "Well, my son got accepted here. I need to get the enrollment paperwork." And like, "Oh, great. What's your son name?" I said, "Jackson Coffee." Blah, blah. And there's a kid sitting in the lobby with an employee there, a teacher or someone. And the kid goes, "Coffee? My dad's friend's name is Coffee." I was like, "Oh, what's your dad's friend's name?" "Mike." I was like, "Oh, that's funny. I'm Mike Coffee." He's like, "Oh yeah, you built our table."
What?
It's my sales tax guy's son. He goes to the school. He was in there. I was like, "Oh, is your dad Mason?" He's like, yeah. So anyway, that was just a funny little small.
Look at Mike just heading it off with little kids.
Yeah,
Who would have guessed? I wouldn't have.
Anyway, thanks, Pete. That was a fun way to make that story horrible. So questions. I guess we'll move on to Austin, as Dan calls him, Zlab.
Dude,
Austin, it's Zlab.
It's Zlabish.
Like Slab.
It's Slab. Say blab.
Blab.
It's a splab.
No, be careful, you might set off Siri.
Yeah, I know. Anything will at this point.
He lives in Zablakistan or something like that, I think.
I'll allow it.
Hey, this is Austin Zlab, Zlabwood on Instagram. Hey, I really appreciate all the knowledge I've learned here on this podcast and this general community. So my question is related to get into the CNC world. What kind of accessories are a day one type of thing, and what are some of those things that are nice to haves. Just looking at what to start budgeting for those kind of hidden costs that come with a new tool purchase. So looking forward to feedback. As always, really love the podcast. Thanks, guys.
Pete, you had a CNC first.
Yeah, so I would say one of the first things you need to invest in is bits, obviously. Get like a...
Well, I would say a CNC is the first thing you want to invest in.
Well, I'm assuming it's coming, or he has it, or he ordered it 6 months ago and it'll be there in 2, you know, because they're all like a crazy long wait time now. But get some bits, get your standard workhorse bits, and I think all the guys are going to say the same thing. You're going to need a 1/4 inch, you're going to need an 8-inch, and you're going to need some kind of V bit.
8-inch.
I'm sorry,
8-inch.
1/8 of an inch. 1/4 of an inch.
You can only run it at like 30 RPMs though.
Like 1 rotation per second. Get like a 90-degree bit, maybe a 30-degree bit, and like
you're gonna want a 90. You're gonna want a 60. You're gonna want a 45, a 30, and a 15. You're gonna need 17 different ball noses. You're gonna need an up and down, and up down.
No. Being funny, but like he actually
no. You need all these things.
Of those 5,
you're gonna need an up, down, left, right, BA.
Select. You do need like 3 of those. Yeah, the 90, 45, and 30. You really want all those. And the other thing is double stick tape. Some solid, real good double stick tape. That's going to be your best friend for like holding stuff down. Don't go crazy with hold down systems or whatever until you figure out how you want to work. And I mean, that's the only 2 things I can really think of. You know, if you want to get into some, like, you might be getting some cheaper bits in the beginning. Some people tend to not invest in some better stuff. You might be getting some tear out, maybe invest in something like Aura Mask, which is that blue film that people put over stuff. It'll help you with your cleanup. And once you start getting, down the line, get a good hold down system, figure out if you want T-track, if you want not threaded inserts, T-nuts. If you just want to keep working with tape, if you want to get T's nuts, if you want to get like a corner clamp system from Petrie's Workshop at Etsy, check it out. You can get something like that, but not until you figure out how you're actually going to be working on that machine, because you might be one of those weirdos that places your piece always in a center, like Jeff from Two Moose, you weirdo. Not attacking, I'm kidding. We're friends.
Kind of a communist.
But some people, use one corner. Some people use the center.
Metric
some
bottom left, you weirdos.
Left, yeah. So, figure out what your workflow is before you start investing into all of the accessories and like rotaries or whatever. Some people get them ahead of time, and I'm like, you don't even know what you're going to do on it yet. Calm down. Now, Mike, as a second person to get a CNC.
I don't like this angle. This is really...
We're waiting.
I'm not like a great person to ask this between the 3 of us, because my CNC came with all this stuff.
Just say I'm not a great person.
I'm not a great person. Out of the 3 of us, I'm not a great person. No, my CNC pretty much came with all that stuff, like the boots, the stuff like that. But in terms of bits, yeah, I mean, bits are important. That's a question that gets asked all the time. I'm literally right now working on a 5 bits for beginners on the CNC. I'm working on that video right now because it gets asked so much, and I just want to push people to that video. So nice. There's probably like 10 that you're really going to want to invest in. And I don't know what machine you're getting. If you're getting any one of the I used to say if you're getting like a Onefinity, you want to get the Amana bits, but that's not true. I don't agree with that anymore. Actually, I think you want to get the Vortex bits because you can get the spindle on there now. If you're running the Makita router, you probably don't really need the Vortex bits. Or even higher, there's the Vortex, there's the Onsrud, and then there's the FT Tools is the other one. I can't remember. I might have that wrong. But anyway, there's bits. You're going to want to look at your bits and your I want to circle back on what Pete said, though. Pete was 100% right. Don't start buying a bunch of stuff until you understand what your workflow is, because you will end up with things you just don't use and don't need. So get your machine in, get the bare minimum of stuff. As long as you can operate your machine, you're up and running. That's all that matters. Figure out how you want to use your machine, because everyone does it different. Every machine's different. Speeds and feeds are different from same machine to machine. I mean, they're similar, but you're going to have to learn your machine. And that's the thing you need to spend the first few months doing, is learning how to use your machine and how you're going to use your machine. Now that doesn't mean that like you're gonna like figure out how to be really good at your machine right away. You're always learning stuff on the CNC. You always learn ways to get better at it and new processes and things on how you do things. I mean, I just changed how I do my whole hold down system like 3 months ago or something. I got rid of my old way and I went back to the T-track setup, and I'm loving my new current setup or my new setup. And I
stole it.
So it works really well for me. It works well for, but other people do other stuff. You know, I am itching to upgrade my CNC to get the vacuum bed with the tool changer. It is the absolute worst part of running my machine right now. It's such a boondoggle changing out bits. And sometimes I have jobs I run where, other than like really standard stuff, like when I'm doing, like I just did these Moncala boards, it requires 5 tool changes. And you have to do them in different orders, and so I have to rotate in the first bit into the third tooling. So having an auto tool changer would be nice, but that's not something you can add to a lot of new machines. So anyway,
like you actually touched on something that I completely didn't even think of, but it's dust collection. And even if it's not a hookup directly to, you want to have some kind of system nearby, because you can be collecting a lot of dust, especially with these like smaller routers. They just spray that stuff everywhere.
Yeah, you need dust collection. There's no question. I mean, you're gonna have to invest in it, and don't be cheap. Shop vac is not the answer. You want some sort of blower based machine. You don't need a whole lot. You could go, I mean, I think Dan, you got the Buck tools, right? That's
indeed
very affordable machine. $200.
I don't know what it costs.
Yeah, Dan got his for free, but you can get it probably like $200. But you can
it's not terrible.
But also for $200, you could go to Harbor Freight and get that bigger machine, and you can have that hooked up to it too. So, but that's a big machine with a big footprint, so you got to factor that in. But you want dust collection. Rockler has that Dust Right wall-mounted unit.
Yeah, exactly.
Similar to the Buck tools.
Yeah, that's exactly what I
for that actually, because it sits on a wall and kind of.
It's exactly why I wanted it, because it sits on the wall and the footprint is super minimum.
I think the wall-mounted machines for the Onefinity size machines is like the perfect setup. I think that's definitely the way to go with those. So anyway, I don't really have much else. You're honestly, other than getting your bits lined up and having your dust collection figured out, the other stuff is going to be like super personal preference, and you'll have to figure that out as you go. So just don't do something just because you saw someone else do it. Figure out how you want to do it. Dan?
Well, first of all, I don't like going last because you guys take all the good answers.
It's weird.
You'll go first on the next one.
Nope.
You'll go first on the next one.
First. I'd rather go middle. I'm more of a sandwich guy.
How's that?
How are you power middle?
Power middle?
Or power center?
But speaking of bits,
show title.
Baseball. Power center.
Speaking of bits, it's like when you're buying bits for your regular router. We've said this in the past. Try to stay away from buying those cheap sets. Buy bits as you need them. And it's going to be the same way with the CNC. Stay away from the cheap sets. Buy bits as you need them. And then you'll know exactly kind of what you need. That's kind of how I did mine. I didn't go and buy a big set of bits. I just bought bits here and there as I needed them. And I was like, oh, I want to do a tray with a bowl-like feature. So I bought a bowl bit.
So you bought them bit by bit?
Bit by bit. Bits and bits. Whatever.
My yawning has nothing to do with that joke. It was fantastic.
Okay.
Say it.
Oh, I forgot. I see. There we go.
I can't say it otherwise my stupid laptop goes crazy.
Another cool accessory that I think is great that these guys didn't mention is a prober. Or
just a
probe.
Mine came with one, so I don't know.
Yeah, it's a nice little accessory.
You basically have to have that. I mean, there's no reason not to invest in it. It saves you so much time.
I worked without it for a while. I mean, there are ways around it.
It's not super accurate. You went without a bunch of stuff. It's not great.
It's not the best solution, but you don't need it to be working. But it's a great accessory to have.
Dan is wrong. You need it.
You don't need it.
I think you can get by without it.
You can get by without it.
I think probe is
why
great.
Though? You don't need a car.
You don't need
well, in that case, you don't need shoes.
My legs hurt all the time. Sure.
You can bike, bro?
I'm in constant pain. Sure, my body is constantly hurting. My job's 20 hours walk away. No. Anyway, what else? Sorry. I'm fit. Look at me.
That's all I got. That's all I got. That's all I got.
Not using a probe builds character.
Oh, another thing you need to think about.
These kids with their probes. When I was a kid, I don't know. Sorry,
I had a brown probe. Another thing you need to think about.
Yeah, doesn't matter what color they are when they start.
Another thing you need to think about is making your CNC table or where you're going to put your CNC. A lot of money and time goes into making your table. So I think I spent probably $200 or $250 on my CNC table, and it's pretty basic. So something else to think about.
Minus 11%.
Yeah, I got that 11% rebate.
Ciao. All right. The next question is from Kimani Strayhorn. Kimani was at Workbench Con. It was nice.
He was.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Hey guys, it's Kimani.
Hi.
I forgot to ask this question last week, so I'll ask it now. Coming back from Workbench Con, what was your biggest business-related revelation or pivot point that you picked up from being there, whether it was in a seminar or just talking to other people who've been in the business? I've asked a few people this question since coming back, and I've gotten a variety of answers because everybody's business is a little different. So just wanted to see what kind of things you guys picked up from there that you're going to try to focus on and incorporate going forward in your business. Thanks.
Pete.
Mike.
You want me to go?
Yeah, sure. Go first.
And
then toss it to me so Dan goes last.
No, I'm going to power center him. No, honestly, for my business, I didn't really get a lot out of Workbench Con for my business. There wasn't much, to be honest. Katz Moses' seminar was one of the few I went to. I didn't go to a whole lot. I had a lot of FaceTime with people, which is why I was there, really, to be honest. The seminar was a very good one. It did not directly relate to my business specifically, and I don't think a lot of people in that room it directly related to. It was more of a highlight of what Jonathan was doing with his business and what you can do with a business. So I think that's more about what that class was. I don't know that there's a lot of people who are scaling to the point of running a production shop for other businesses. So, but it was very cool to see and how to make that happen. The big takeaway for me with Workbench Con, the biggest takeaway was that, well, first of all, you leave there with a lot of motivation and a lot of positive energy.
Which is awesome.
Awesome. It's so good. It's such a great, if you've invested time and have time invested into making content or the content creation community, going to that event is very important. My big takeaway was that I need to get an editor for my YouTube content. I need to focus on YouTube, and I have never been this busy in my life. I've been stressed out in my life more than this, but I've never been this actually busy where I wake up at 5:30 in the morning and I work till midnight. I work so long during the week, especially now that I'm really forcing myself to take weekends off. The weekdays are pretty bonkers. And I really want to focus on YouTube really bad, especially for me, my Instagram has been just really flat. I mean, just very little growth over there for me. So I really want to focus on YouTube. And if that doesn't grow, that's kind of whatever. I mean, I'd love to see that grow over on YouTube, but if it doesn't grow, I still really enjoy making YouTube content. Even when it doesn't do well, when I upload a video, it feels very rewarding for some reason. I don't know what that is, but it feels very rewarding. So what I want to do leaving from Workbench Con was I got an editor. I found a guy who's near me. I'll just say who he is. His name's Peter Lindsay Furniture. He's a really good furniture maker, but his day job is he's a video editor and a videographer. He makes really good videos and he's made videos for big companies. I think I already mentioned this on the show, but this is my big takeaway is that I want to get an editor because I really want to focus on, it's going to cost me money. He's not free. I want to make a financial investment in my YouTube channel. and I want to see where that goes. And I have a dollar limit that I have put in my head that I am comfortable with spending on that. It's a decent amount of money. I have the ability to do that right now. And I want to invest the money in that and see if that nets a positive ROI. I'd like to see if I can get a return on my investment and see if it starts seeing some good YouTube views from that. Cause I really like editing videos. I really enjoy it. But I don't think I'm ever going to get better at it. And I don't really have the time for it. So if I can unload that responsibility and have someone who is good at it take care of it, then that's something I really believe in for my business overall, is finding people who are better at the things that I need done and paying them to do it, so I can focus on the things that I'm good at doing that make me money. So that's where it is. That's the thing I took away. Dan?
My biggest takeaway was something very simple yet kind of profound, and I got it from Jay Katz, his talk, and it was, it's one of those things that like whenever it come out of his mouth, I was like, wow, I can't even believe I never looked at it like that. But it's all about,
despite me saying it for years,
it's all about perspective. Don't look at bigger purchases for your business as expenses, even though they are, in literal terms. They're more like investments in your time.
In the short term, they're an expense.
Yeah, but in the long term, they are investments in your time, because you're basically buying back some of your time so you can invest your time in something else. So if I get a big job and I invest in a larger tool to help the job go faster and more efficient, that's an investment in my time, so that I can.
And the next time you have that job.
Yeah, for sure. That's all. I don't know why I never thought of that. Mike may or may not have said it. I don't remember. A lot of stuff comes out of Mike's mouth. But when Jay Katz said it.
Yours is original.
When Jay Katz said it, it really stuck. And that's my biggest takeaway, believe it or not. Pete?
Good. Thanks, Dan.
Yeah.
And Dan, I think he wasn't just.
You're the muscle bread of this sandwich. Go on.
Thanks, champ. The other part of that let's call it a quote. When he was talking about the expense, he was talking about people. People are an investment. Like people, not just the product, like a thing for your shop, but like people. And that is, I think, one of my biggest takeaways is people. Everyone that was up there had a guy or a gal, or every gal had a guy or a gal.
They had a people. And the people be good. People do good, money come. Word's hard. But that's the thing.
So much on the floor.
Everyone's got a guy. Someone's got a this guy does my plans. This guy does my videos.
You can't do it yourself. You can't do it all yourself. It's impossible. You need to be able to make the investment in your business, and that is with other people.
And in Katz Moses class, again, it was like the first one we went to, the most eye-opening one, because I've already, some of you, if you follow me, if you don't, check me out. But if you follow me, I've been talking about like finding a virtual assistant for certain things, or I've been thinking about maybe getting a copywriter or something, just like small stuff, but I feel like I'm not worthy of it yet because I'm not like this big business. Like Mike definitely needs more people. Dan needs more people at this point. And like, I'm busy. I'm busy a lot, but it's partially because I have a full-time job and I also do this. So I was looking to like hand off some work, and I asked a question to Katz Moses at the end. I was like, hey, if you had to prioritize now, like what order would you go in hiring these people? And are all your people like staff, or is it like also freelancers and stuff? And he's like, whatever things you don't need to be doing right now. And he lists literally the things we're all talking about: copywriting, plans, video editing, whatever, like all this basic stuff that you don't need to be doing. One of the first things that most of us should be offloading immediately is doing your taxes. If you're still doing your taxes for your business, stop it. You're literally costing yourself money. Get that. We've talked about this 1,000 times. Get a CPA. But like, it's okay to hand off no matter what level you're at. And it's better to hand off. And I got this from a lot of people, like hand off before you're overwhelmed, because when you're overwhelmed, it's really hard to hand off because you can't train that person. So that was one of the first big takeaways. The other one was I was just floored by the amount of ways that people are making money in this business. It's not just everyone's chasing after the brand, that deal with the brand deal. No, these guys that are really successful, they have products, they have merch, they have affiliates, they have digital content, they have long-term contracts where they're cranking out some boring thing over and over and over again, but that's like financing something. And like they have all these different ways of doing it. Some people are doing it solo. Some people have literally hired people to find stuff for them. Some people are working with agencies, and there's so many ways to make money. And if you're just chasing that one thing, especially just a brand deal, you're not going to get anywhere in this. You'll get like short-term returns. You'll get like this big, like, oh yeah, cool, I got this brand. And then what? What's your long-term thing? What's your reoccurring income? So Dan, you have something to add?
Speaking of brand deals, and this is something I forgot to bring up during what's on my bench, but it fits here well as well. Jeez.
Well as well. It does.
It fits here as well.
Guy.
You don't have to take every brand deal that reaches out to you. You don't. Because not everything aligns with what you do. I had 3 different brands reach out to me in different ways, and I turned them all down because 2 of them didn't fit with what I'm doing. It just made no sense. And another one was just kind of like a hard sell. It was really weird. But my point is, you don't have to take everything that comes at you. You can be picky. Keep your brand on brand.
Yeah, it's a great way to put it.
That's all.
Right on. Good answers, guys.
I didn't like them.
I dare I say it, the best answers we've ever given.
Oh, that's a reach.
The next question is a Jack Reacher. The next question is a write-in, and it's from Chris with Chris Will Make, or as Dan calls him, Chris Will Write.
Chris Will Write. And he did.
Yeah.
Like Mike said, this is from Chris.
Am I reading it?
Read it together.
Let's read it together.
3,
want to hold my hand?
2. Yeah. No, read it.
Give me a story.
Hey guys, love the podcast and congrats on episode 100. Wanted to ask a quick question about your thoughts on building a following on Instagram. I've been trying to post more on Instagram, and I've had what I consider to be good engagement considering how new my account is and my limited number of followers. My eventual goal is to start selling some of my items in order to create a self-funding hobby, quote unquote. But what I'm finding in terms of Instagram is the interactions seem to be mostly coming from other woodworkers and wood turners. While I love being engaged with other makers in the community, it's not other makers who would necessarily be interested in purchasing some of my items. Can you share any insight into how you guys have used your social media platforms to attract potential customers in addition to other makers? Thanks. Chris, Pete, you want to head this off?
Yeah. So, I mean, it's a little hard if you're trying to sell a product because people don't like being sold to a lot of times. But that being said, what you're doing on Instagram, at least, is correct. You should be posting as consistently as you can, be active in a community. It's one of those, if you build it, they will come things. But start tailoring your content to not just the makers, but to, like, don't just show you working on a joiner or whatever, because a customer might not be interested in that. They might like the beauty shop more, the finished product, the showcase. Make sure if somebody goes on your page and if they got a small phone and they only see the 3 photos at the bottom or at the top, one of those is a product shot. So they get intrigued and they want to click it. You want to make sure that your message is clear in your profile, like what you do. Don't do quotes, don't do whatever. I'm not crapping on anyone, but if you're trying to do a business, like, point them towards your website. And then last one is throw that website in there. The last thing is Chris Will Make, you need to lock that down on every platform, from Twitter to Pinterest to a Facebook page, TikTok, LinkedIn, if you want, all of them. The reason is you want to be as easily found as possible and have as many keywords on all those as possible. And, you're going to notice eventually as you start growing that there's people that are finding you on TikTok that then move to Instagram, then vice versa, or, watching your stories. So all of that bleeds over and it will eventually lead to customers. For every 10 woodworkers you pick up, you might pick up a customer. So you want to keep growing. Just because you're not getting that many sales yet doesn't mean you're not going to. I predominantly sell to woodworkers. I also sell a lot of cutting boards and other little knickknacks to other people that are not woodworkers. But because of the base I built with woodworking and the woodworking community, people are finding me other ways as well. Dan, what do you think?
Yeah.
As the biggest account here.
100% correct. If you build it, they will come. Exactly like Pete said. You got to build a foundation.
All over the floor.
And, that foundation might be other woodworkers and wood turners and makers. But with that, as your account grows, your videos and your posts get seen by more people, because to Instagram, it's all engagement. Instagram doesn't know that it's just other woodworkers that are looking at your content. But as more people see your content and your products and stuff that you're posting on Instagram, then your reach becomes more, and you get picked up on the Explore page and what have you. So yes, don't frown about only having woodworkers follow you right now. Also, hey, if you only have other woodworkers following you, maybe try to find a product that other woodworkers want, like a bow tie, for instance.
Wow.
Or tool holders.
Wow.
Stuff like that. Or templates like Mike does.
Stay in your lane.
Try to sell to other woodworkers.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a 2 or 3 tiered beast that you have to tackle individually. So that's all I have to say about that. Michael?
Don't throw negative shade on your main following being woodworkers, because the woodworking community is incredibly supportive, almost to a fault.
Mostly.
And other than the outliers where there's like 3 or 4 a year where you're going to have people with really tiny D energy throwing shade at you. That's just going to happen. Yeah. That's just jealousy. But anyways, don't sleep on that, because those people will help boost your posts.
Yeah, exactly.
And with that boost to your post, here's the bottom line with Instagram. The only thing that matters is going viral to grow on Instagram. That's the only thing that matters, is going viral on Instagram. If your post goes viral, your page blows up. That's the bottom line. That's how you do it. And the only way to get viral is to get that initial support from the community that is really tight knit and close to your content, which is your community, which is the woodworkers. So they're very important to your success, to your page. But your question was more about growing it so you can get people who aren't woodworkers to get sales to fund your hobby. So you're not going to get a ton of sales from Instagram. You're just not.
Nope.
So don't think that's going to happen. I do get sales from Instagram. I don't get the majority of my sales from Instagram.
Yeah.
I get the majority of my sales from my network, not my social network, my professional network. That's where the majority of my work comes from. I spend a lot of time networking with vendors, people, interior designers, other professionals, other trades. I try to become buddies with as many people as I can on that level. So at least have a conversation there to grow that. That's where a lot of my work comes from. Contractors, all kinds of people like that. That's where it comes from. So anyone who you think could ever possibly find you someone. And then the other thing the other part of it comes from word of mouth from customers who have been very happy with my customer experience. Customer experience is extremely important to me. I spend, what is that? Oh, that's your ice. Okay. No, that's right. Yeah, I didn't know what it was. It threw me off. I got a CRM program. It's a customer relationship management software. That's Jobber. I have my bookkeeping software. That's for my business. But Jobber is entirely an investment for me to make my customers' experience really good. They can go to their dashboard, pay their bill, see all kinds of information about what's going on with their account and their job. It's really important to me that my customer enjoys that experience. That's really important. That is something I get regularly complimented on how smooth that process is for my customers. That's important. That adds to the word of mouth and keeps the value for the people out there to come to Coffee Custom Builds. So I will be very like unless you're going to introduce a product to the community that the community is going to go on fire about. I'm trying to think of an example of that. I mean, obviously Dan has his bow ties, like he mentioned, and Pete has all his 3D printed doodads for in the shop, which are fantastic. In fact, I meant to say, yeah, they're what's the word you always used to say?
Tchotchkes.
Tchotchkes, thank you.
Yeah.
That, I was cleaning out one of my cabinets today. I found one of the original Petrie's square push stick. The first one you ever sent me, the black and red one. I don't know if you remember. It was before you even started. Yeah. It was before you even started doing the custom ones with people's logos.
Which then I stopped.
I was like, oh, and
that's I started, man.
Then he promptly threw it in the.
No, it's bin. It's on my table saw now.
But Mike, you brought up a good point. Is that get them the hell off that platform ASAP.
Yeah.
You want to make a sale? Yeah. Make it as easy as possible for people to buy from you. Find your shop. Find whatever.
Yep.
If
they have to spend too much time doing it. If they have to spend too much time doing it, they're going to give up after maybe one step. I mean, if it's more than one step, I mean, I know for me, I'd be like, I don't even care anymore. I was really excited about it. You need to keep it so fast that it's still an impulse.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you got to do it. Otherwise it won't work. You won't sell. So anyway, that's my thought on that. It's all like a Hakuna Matata thing with the Instagram. I mean, one feeds the other. You get busy. If you're busy, that means you can make content because you have something going on. Sometimes you get so busy, you can't even make any content because you have no time for that. Like that's where I'm at right now. And sometimes you get busy and you're sharing content and you're making something that you don't make very often. And it's exciting for people who do follow you. And they go, oh, I didn't even think that guy could make that. And now they're like, oh, I needed one of those. And then they come to you for that. So try to make your content varied, vary your content. So you're not just making the same thing over and over again. It's just constantly the same cutting board or epoxy, something or other. Just try to vary your content a bit. Show your range. That's how you're going to reach a wider potential buying audience. Because I do a lot of tables, but not a lot of people can buy custom tables. They're expensive. And so I offer other things. And like Dan said, I have templates. I really push my templates within the community. That's something I do. So obviously I wouldn't sell templates if I were you. They're not going to do very well for you. They're just not. So stay out of that business or I'll find you. No. But I mean, find something that's going to be good within the community that you can do if you want to do that. But really, I wouldn't leverage the community so much. It's pretty.
No.
It's pretty.
That shouldn't be your main focus.
Well, I mean, it can be. There's nothing wrong with that. But I'm just saying it's going to be fickle. It's like what we were talking about earlier about working with brands. Brands have brand relationships are really great, really important. If you do that, if you don't do that, it doesn't matter. That's great too. You don't, but brands have one thing in mind or one thing that's important to them, their brand. So they will drop a creator like a hat and like immediately. That's why they do it with contract work with them. So they can easily drop them. They don't make them employees for a reason. Because if they just dropped employees like they do contractors, they'd be getting sued left and right because you can't just drop employees like that. That's why they're done with contract work. And as a contractor working with a brand, you at any time could be dropped. And that's just the nature of that relationship and business. So it's not something you can really depend on. Anyway, that was a lot of information. Sorry, everyone.
It's all good information though.
It is good information. That's the show.
Wow.
Let's call it. Big thanks to the patrons. Big thanks to all you for sharing the episode 100 stuff. Go check out Making Fun. I'm going to do another quick plug. I've got this maker fair this weekend at Urban Wood Rescue on Sunday, March 13th. Pete, you got anything coming up? Your class, your Zoom class?
When's that Zoom class coming up? That's going to be, we don't have a date yet set, but it's
cool. Dan, what else you got? I'm just joking.
Email me though, peachesworkshop@gmail.com if you're interested.
I might order tacos through DoorDash tonight.
Ooh.
Outstanding. All right.
Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody has those days.
Helicopter Pete. Back
Helicopter Pete.
No, I've actually I've talked to some other local makers in the area, the ones that still like me, and we may or may not do some sort of.
How are the both of them doing?
Both of them. Yeah.
Aaron and I don't know. It's all up in the air right now. We'll see. I might go camping next week. Oh, there's that.
That's awesome.
It's camping season again. Right?
Yep, spring break next week for my wife and kids. So
spring break.
Going to be in the 60s. I think we're going to take the camper out.
Nice. Fire pit weather.
Camper. Hardly newer. Whatever. I don't know.
And thanks for joining us.
Thanks for joining us, everyone. Have a great night. Bye-bye.
Love you long time.
Bye. Bye.